Seat 6 folds, seat 7 folds, seat 8 folds.
And I know Sam was thinking, I really want to call with the 10-8, 10-7 of diamonds, but I think it's a better move to raise.
Right. Two raises to 16.
He can't help himself. He just knows you have to do it if you're going to play the hand, I guess.
Seat 4 folds.
Merci, Mamie.
So the guys who have really stepped it up are the guys with chips who also have an active reputation. That's Jungleman, and that's Trickett, and that's Duhamel. Tobias has been a little quiet, and Antonio hasn't really been able to afford it, I guess.
Tobias has been really, it seems like he took all the 3-bets out of his game. He's just waiting for hands, which is right, I think, because they know how often he 3-bets. So he's made actually a really good adjustment, but he's been card dead. So, you know, and he was unlucky. I mean, he had ace-king against ace-10, or he would be at 800,000 or whatever.
It's always impressive, isn't it, when a guy who's fast doesn't have fancy play syndrome. He actually just takes the line that he thinks is right.
Right. To see him slow down when it's right to slow down, because it's impressive that people can play fast, but then when you learn that they can actually slow down, it's impressive. And Jungleman, you know, he's one of those guys, right? I think he was lucky to make it into the final. I know he pulled a miracle on me at a very key time, but I think that he was in a bad spot a lot in this Premier League, and he hit a lot of flushes and a lot of weird hands like that by playing hands that I don't think he should have played. But we're talking about him adjusting now and playing right, and he's made a good adjustment for sure.
And he's also got the kind of game, even in this league, where when it didn't go right for him, he was busting early. He took a 7. I think he also took...
He had an 8.
Yeah, he took an 8.
He had chip lead to 8.
Right. Duhamel decided to just flat from the big blind and peel, and they both got suited queens.
It could, you know, I mean, being that Jungleman's one of the best short-handed players in the world, you know, like heads-up players, it'd be very impressive if he can adjust and learn how to play other ways.
6 folds.
I mean, when you were his age, and it's not comparable in a sense because he's even at this age he's played millions of hands. But were there certain things you did well, and then a lot of things you just did terribly, or did you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, it's a.
What did you do best at the age of 23 and 24?
Actually, I didn't like playing tight. Back then, I hated to play tight. In the game I was in, we played a $1 ante game. And I mean, the dealer anteed $1. And everybody had 500 in front of them. And I'd be speeding around, showing bluffs, opening every hand. I mean, they played, if I wasn't at the table, there was no action. When I was there, I'd be raise, just to try to throw them off and get them to play more money.
You were the game.
Right. It was very deceptive. I did that for all my small bets, but when the bets got big, I always had it. And so... but it was just the dynamic that I played with, the group that I played with. I was really good at playing fast at that point, and then learning how to play slow is something that I learned and haven't necessarily liked. But
sometimes it's right.
That flash.
I thought it might have, but I didn't see it.
What flash?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
Has it been an exposed card? And Sam's just hoping it's not a misdeal because he has the ace-king.
8 raises to 16,000.
Well, Dan had king 3. Let's see what his replacement cards are.
I guess he got better than the 3.
C1 calls.
And
C2 calls.
He's not a huge flatter. I mean, is that a pocket pair type of hand? I wonder.
Well, yeah, he either has 3s or he has a king-queen or something. But anyway, I don't know. We're going to have to see his cards there. It's taking a second for the camera. The camera's on overload because now it's seen 3 cards for him. 2 3s. So the misdeal gave him a pair of 3s, which He played for 16,000.
And if Tobias is thinking about a re-raise, I guess the reasoning, well, he's got a hand
Four
here.
raises to 36,000.
Tobias has waited a lot. See, this is frustrating for a player like me, where I wait, and wow, here comes Talal. Wait, and I finally re-raise with Ace Queen, and two guys have me in basically have me beat. You know, that can be frustrating.
How clear is Talal's decision here, based on his short stack? I mean,
well, Talal knows that Reinkemeier has, you know, in the past has made a lot of weak 3-bets. That's his game. And Talal's playing to win, so I wouldn't be surprised if he shipped it here. But he's smart. Look at him. He's looking over to see if Sam has a hand. And if you can pick some huge tell of strength off of either one of these guys, he can actually get away from this hand.
the reason, I mean, he's looking at Trickett in a sense. I wonder if he's thinking, Trickett hasn't really been that active from under the gun. I mean, is that...
That's a good factor, Jesse. That's a very good point. Oh
my gosh!
I mean, that's crazy. So he picked something. I'm going to say he picked something up because I've seen him.
And he's going to feel great when Trickett ships this in. I mean, he's going to feel like a hero.
Well, he will until he sees it's ace king. Because you know, I think Talal
and the board
wants,
runs out ragged.
Right. Well, he wants to get it in there in a race. So the question is, how much do you raise if you're Sam? You know, you want to. The thing is that an all-in will get rid of Reinkemeyer's 9s or 8s, and a small raise keeps him around. So, you know, a lot of times when I make a big raise, I get criticized for it, but it's, you know, it's because I don't want them to call me with 8s or 9s and be in bad shape.
There is 88,000 in the pot right now. That feels like a lot of chips.
See, that raises to 66,000.
Sam plays. This is just the sort of the hallmark of his game, that he doesn't really make the big raises.
Yep.
Likes to keep his options as open as possible. And
considering Reinkemeier has, you know, exactly ace queen, it's a perfect re-raise. I think he's baiting the hook. He's saying, I'm going to make a re-raise and I'm going to give Reinkemeier a chance to ship it here. To, you know.
Reinkemeier's got fold equity. Sam's got a full 200K back, so it's quite clever.
Yes.
And would this be a mistake for Reinkemeier, or is it a cooler in a sense, in your mind?
Well, you know, here's the problem. Reinkemeyer's been watching, and he knows that Sam could have nothing here. And so, but I think, you know, when you 3-bet it with ace-queen and someone 4-bets you, you just ought to know it's no good, and it's just rarely is it good. So it's just a spot where he could fold.
He's chosen a different line, which is to call, and that's very unusual.
And that's bad for Sam. I don't know if it's bad for Sam.
Oh, well, that's
bad for Sam now.
Yeah.
Kind of did predict this, Phil. You like to employ the weapon of the bazooka gun here, and Trickett now is in a very tough spot. Although, from what you said, you feel like Reinkemeier could easily have a medium pocket pair here, so Sam has to bet to kind of blast that out of the water. He hasn't.
It's so hard.
What does his check mean? It's not check to give up, is it?
I mean, you know, a check does force your opponent to bet 2 6s or 2 7s. I don't know. I think 6 or 7s would check behind, actually. It's a very interesting check.
It's a huge pot already in terms of the players' stacks. Essentially, there's more in this pot right now than Antonio has in his whole stack. You know, Sam's not exactly, he doesn't exactly have the luxury here of getting deep in this pot.
What a bad flop.
He's really going to think this through. And, you know, a lot of people would have just sort of considered this automatic and have just gotten the money in already. Trickett, is he trying to find another way?
Yeah, he's trying to find another way for sure. I mean, really, all three possibilities are in his mind right now. It's a pretty dangerous flop for ace-king, though, when in a 4-bet spot. And Sam doesn't want to get all of his money and find out that he's against a set of jacks when he gets called, you know?
He's got the money in his hand for a call, and yet does calling feel too weak? If he does call, it'll leave him with about 150 left.
And so, you know, to go back before the flop.
Wow, no way. No way could he pass.
To go back before the flop, Sam made that small 4-bet. The power of moving in there is you pick up the 38 plus another 25. You pick up 63 risk-free, which is, you know, a lot of chips. On the other hand, if your opponent has exactly ace-queen, the 30 raise seemed okay because you're getting to put in more money at 2.5 to 1.
Wow. Wow, he found a fold.
Clubs is jack.
He found a fold.
You should just bet. You have a suited ace. You have a suited ace. One of us.
Into 6th position, Sam. He's not happy about the way that hand went.
Yeah.
He's trying to say he had 8-9.
8-9 was no good.
Felt like you had a suited ace. Probably should have just stuck it. Or hold it.
That's fine.
Surely Tobias doesn't believe that.
No, he does believe it. That's the great thing about Sam. That's the great thing about Sam lying there, is that he does believe it. Because Sam is so fast, they know he's capable of having 8-9. So.
What is it?
I mean, there's just enough reasonable doubt there. You know?
Yeah. Now, Dan Shak's big blind. Is it a good one to attack right now?
Yes.
No. Dan Shak's blind is never a good dude.
Really? He just looks so tight sometimes, but that doesn't mean he doesn't get sticky, huh?
Well, we saw him re-raise with King 5.
Completely went against my gut. So sick.
Talal's raised this up. Dan gives it up.
Nothing worse than going against your gut, no matter what you do.
Yeah, sure.
Talal Shakerchi, who, from what we've seen, probably avoided the hangman's noose by folding 2 10s there. Very, very interesting pass he made.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, that's one of those 2-bet, 3-bet, I'll fold the 10s, you know. And we've seen the 2-bet, 3-bet where Antonio had to fold ace-10 a couple times. And it's just really. But it's interesting that Talal folded that hand because he's played so crazy with so many bad hands. For him to find a fold with 10s is just, you know, actually it's impressive.
It shows that his game has edges anyway, which I always love to see. The crazier a guy is, when he can also make big passes, you realize that he's got width and breadth. Come on, Antonio. Start making some hay.
7 raises to 20,000.
Trickett. Got 25 big blinds. He might feel like this is too big to shovel in. There's in too many chips. Do you agree with that, or do you like the shovel?
I think he might go for it.
See that he's all in.
He went. He jumped.
quick pass of ace-10 by the jungle man, but I guess...
Well, if Antonio stays out of that pot, something interesting might happen.
Yeah, you better believe it.
You know. Sam may have just moved all in which case Jungle Man may have called. Or Sam may have just made a small raise, in which case I wouldn't be surprised if Jungle Man would have re-raised. So there's certainly going to be more action.
Oh, thank you.
Is Antonio one of the guys who's continuing on to Australia with you? You know, what do you say? Hasn't
That's
decided
a good
yet, maybe.
question. I don't think he's going.
Great little crowd that's turned out on the rail here. You can see all those guys with their Blackberries and iPhones taking videos. So why not? If you are a poker fan, this feels a little like a special table. Everyone here in your hometown. I bet they're watching the streaming.
7 raises to 18,000.
He went for a 20 ball last time, Esfandiari, and it's just a little bit less now. 8 to 18.
6-1 fold. 6-2 fold.
The way Jungle Man is sort of folding his hands right now,
What you playing, Antonio?
I wonder if he feels a little handcuffed by the stakes.
How much is that about?
Tilly could get her chips in first. Is it the right thing to do? Probably.
I mean, you know, she has to play to win. Antonio started with 168,000.
Yes, I want to know how much it is. You're not allowed to count it? About 200.
It's actually a lot less than 200. I think it's about 150 back, and
I'm all in.
3 is all in.
Gutsy.
sure is. Especially if
gonna
it's
win.
200.
7 fold.
Boy, I'll tell you what.
Good play.
For somebody who's one of Jennifer's best friends, Antonio wasn't given any free information there, was he? I mean, he's cutthroat, baby.
Well, what do you want him to do? He's a short stack in the tournament. I mean,
Yeah, but he wouldn't tell her how much he had. I mean, that's you know, listen, that's part of the game. I
she
applaud
should be
that.
able, once he puts the chips out there, she should be able to guesstimate
That's
it.
true. That's true.
So I feel like that was okay.
Reinkemeier on the back of beating Sam Trickett out of that pot over $500,000 in chips, and Duhamel's comfortable as well. The rest of them is feeling very tight. This table's not big enough for 8 players.
Well, it's not going to be 8 for long. That I will say.
Antonio might be thinking, try and raise me off of this, guys.
8 fold.
If he gets put to the test, though, he's not going to like it, especially if Jennifer Tilly does it.
3 folds.
Well, Jennifer pulled the trigger with the 9s. That was good. She didn't just call, you know, I mean,
4 folds.
and she was right.
Who will be the Premier League champion? There is a lot of prize money available on this final table, including the $450,000 for first.
By the way, to go back to the Talal hand, where he had the 10s, if he does move in there, then Trickett's going to protect. So he has the best hand with 2 to come there. Because Ace-Queen's going to be folding.
Ace-Queen will have to fold. You're right. I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah.
C6 folds. C7 folds.
Started off very well for Trickett at this final table, flopping a set against the Jungle Man. Since then, it's
C1 fold.
been just a little dribble,
C2 fold.
or a drizzle, anyway.
C3 fold.
You know, in a lot of poker tournaments or a lot of casinos, poker players eat because they need to. They haven't eaten in 2 days, and they've been at the table for that long. But at this casino, I kind of feel like everybody eats because they want to. The food ain't half bad here. And if you've been watching some of these platters of gorgeous Chinese fare that have been coming around,
speaking of which,
you're getting hungry yourself, aren't you?
Yeah. We better ask about a waitress out there.
I'm sure she's on her way. She just had to bring Antonio his dinner first. Antonio probably slipped her a 20 and said, "Don't bring Phil on with anything." I love those pictures on the wall. It just makes it feel like such a great room in here. This feels like a fantastic setting for
here's the waitress. Yum,
poker.
yum.
Trickett's getting a little rush of starting hands anyway. I mean, from a VPIP point of view, I believe he's put chips in over 50% of the last 15 hands. And don't think these guys don't notice that. It's probably a hand, King Queen right now, where he may have to take a little heat. Tobias is nobody's fool. He's looking at Trickett. There's no way you can have a hand every time, Sam. And I do wonder what the dynamics of the 3-bet would be. This is the thing I love about Tobias most, Phil Hellmuth, that if he sees a spot, he goes for it.
Raises to 35,000.
And that's just the way it is. He doesn't say, "I'll find a better spot." He doesn't say it's a marginal spot. He sees a spot and takes it.
And it's back on Trickett, who...
He might have the white magic defense. I mean, he really might.
All three plays are available to him right now, and that's fold, call, or raise. And this is one of those hands where you really could do all three. Takes a lot of white magic to fold King Queen here.
Oh, I think he's going to I was thinking he might shove.
Oh, he certainly might.
Isn't it this weird idea where even though King Queen's not a very good hand, it's better than what Tobias perceives he has? I mean...
Well, you see, that's the thing about Sam. He's smart. He knows he lied and said he had 8-9 last time. And so because of that lie, yeah, he's going to lay it down. That's okay. Sam's going to be, you know, he's going to be a little bit steamed up when he finds out that he lost the ace-king to the ace-queen there. A few hands back.
Reinkemeier now starting to pull away. He's made it look kind of easy, actually.
I disagree. First, I don't think he's pulling away, but yeah, all right, I'll give you that.
I mean, that was a, you know, he just took
a
chunk out of Sam right there.
I'll give you pulling away. He's at 545, but I feel like he's not like he's outplaying anybody. He took ace-queen against ace-king.
Right.
Stuffed in 70,000 and hit a queen. You know, I mean...
You're right. That's true.
See that call? See one pole?
It's so funny how cards can make you look superhuman. It's
true, you know. It's
I do think it was quite funny about Duhamel that your perception of him changed when you started seeing his hands, even though you were playing with him at the table for quite a long time.
Well, that's exactly, unless you've done all the research. Whoops, and here comes Talal.
And he's found a good spot.
Yes, he really has.
6 folds.
Duhamel has an ace. Antonio has king, queen. Antonio's had a few tough spots, hasn't he?
He has. I mean, every time he's picked up a group of sort of 1 or 2 hands, it's been a 2 and 3 bet in front of him.
It's been 3 bet to him. He's had ace 10, then he had ace 10 suited, then it was 3 bet to him, and
7 folds.
And the sick thing is that you kind of predicted it was going to be that sort of game as far as the seat he was in. So he may be coming to the conclusion that if he's ever going to get a look in, it's going to be with a cold 4 shove. Reinkemeier is going to count this down. The price is less than 6 to 4, but not by much.
Reinkemeier really hasn't been able to. I wonder from his point of view, I don't think he knows he was so dominant with the ace-queen, but that one of the considerations when you're thinking about calling here is, you know, it comes down to, eventually it's going to come down to people asking themselves, well, am I the best player? Am I a favorite to win? Because it's a spot where he really doesn't have to gamble. But I think right now he's asking himself the question, is King-Jack the best hand? Because he might know that Talal moved in with King-10 suited by now. Remember when he moved in with King-10 of diamonds? And if that's the case, then could he have worse?
Wow.
6-4 fold.
Lets this one go. And Shakerchi stays alive.
Well, he hasn't had any problem moving his chips in, has he?
No, and his timing's good. Of course, got a little ropey there with Jennifer Tilly before, but he did get it through. Got that one through as well. He's a guy, Talal Shakerchi, who I think has a lot of upside and has received a lot of accolades for the way he's handled himself. That, you know, there's a certain...
You say that about everybody, Jesse. Everybody in the Premier League. Well, this is a guy that everybody respects, and he's getting a lot of accolades. And
well, you know, to be fair, Phil, being here at the Premier League is a huge thing for a lot of people because of the company they keep. You know, when yourself and Daniel Negreanu and Sam Trickett and Antonio show up, it makes just about every other player in the field feel good for being there. It's about the company you're considered in. So I think it's always been like that about the Premier League.
And I'm like half kidding you because.
Yeah. But you
have said that
true.
about some players, and I think you're right about Talal. He really has. He won the high roll, and he's come in here and he's acquitted himself well. I agree with you. I don't know why I'm arguing.
No, you're right. I mean, but you know, this Premier League has been played in a great spirit, and we have had some seasons in the past where it hasn't all been played, and the tempers have flared, and it hasn't all been played in a great spirit. And when it is, it makes everyone.
Either way, I think it's entertaining. Yeah.
Oh, it's always entertaining, but doesn't always make everybody look good.
Yeah. Jennifer with King Queen suited.
3 raises to 18,000.
Wow, Tobias with King King.
Jeez. He can really do whatever he wants. So many players behind that is a flat, and he has gone that way.
C4 call, C5 holds.
He has gone that way.
I mean, what different well, obviously, look at Duhamel. I mean, this is why you flat. Because it doesn't really matter what Duhamel has. He's just always looking for a chance to start moving chips.
C6 call.
And he's gone for the call, which
C8 fold.
I didn't expect. It's not really his style so much, just because he's in position here, or?
Yeah, Ace-7 of spades. Jennifer raised, and he thinks maybe he has her beat. And oh damn, bad time to play the 10-6 offsuit. I'll tell you that.
Pot odds, pot odds.
You just don't want to be against kings when you have the 10-6 offsuit. I mean, it's hard to beat it. You know?
7 of diamonds, 4 hearts.
Wow, top 2 for Duhamel.
Amazing.
C8, C1 checks.
Wow, Jennifer was saved.
Is this going to be as simple as check, 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 bet, fold?
Could be. He's trying to decide what to do here. If he bets enough and someone raises, he can just fold his hand because it's such a dry board, ace-7-4. So he's thinking, I'm going to fire and find out now. I'm willing to risk 35. If somebody calls me, I'm just done.
Right.
Duhamel is thinking, okay, I no longer have to raise here because I flop top 2 and, you know, why raise?
Exactly the conclusion Duhamel's came to when the others clear out.
And he wants the other 2 to fold, so now he doesn't. All he has to do is worry about the guy that called the raise, and you know.
Turning the ace of hearts.
Is Reinkemeier all done? He's trying to think of a hand he can beat. Maybe he's not trying to think of a hand he can beat. Maybe he's just done.
It's going to be hard for Jonathan not to bet here.
The deck has made him look clever here.
6-6 check.
Now what is that about?
Well, defense, offense, right?
River is the 9 of spades.
The defense, you check for defensive purpose because you don't want to go broke in case your aces and 7s are beat. Your offensive reasons are if the guy has a, if he does have an ace, he's going to pay you off on the river. So that's okay.
Right.
Actually, if he knew that Reinkemeier had kings, it was a great check.
That's what I mean. I mean, he's definitely going to max out here, isn't he?
6-4 checks.
Let's see if he can find like a $47,000 bet. Although it's more Duhamel style to make it like 68.
It's amazing how Duhamel has gone from when he bet on the turn, it was such an automatic fold for Reinkemeier, and now this bet on the river is going to be tricky to figure out. Is Reinkemeier good enough to get away from this? I wonder.
Well, we're going to find out. I mean, there's not a lot of hands.
Oh my gosh, he's going bigger. He's going even bigger, Phil.
6 bet 74,000.
I said 68 is what he bet.
That's pretty close.
And really, Tobias says to himself, what can I beat? I mean, if he had the 7-8 suited, he got there. You know, what can I beat?
Right. And why would Duhamel just float with nothing? The 2 players behind him on the flop.
Exactly. He can beat, like, you know, Jack 7 suited or something.
He can beat air. Beat air. He's not curious, Reinkemeier. I guess that's the mark of a good player.
I wonder if Reinkemeier does raise, if Jennifer Tilly, I think she's going to call before the flop with King, Queen of Diamonds.
And he's the chip leader now, the Canadian Jonathan Duhamel, the 2010 world champion of poker.
From first out to chip leader. And he was very, very close to being first out.
Boy, he was dead, wasn't he?
Yep.
He was dead.
It's been his week, I think, you know. I mean, he's found some nice, favorable spots.
He's won a couple nice pots with ace-10. Not just tonight. Well, that was a split, but great bluff of Antonio Esfandiari in the third heat with the ace-10.
18's a little bit more than she usually raises.
Every time he gets a good hand, it's a bad spot, and he's going all in.
7 is all in. 8 folds.
This might not be the hand Antonio wants to do it with, but he might feel like he's never getting a better spot.
This is where I don't.
You don't like it?
I mean, for Dan to take more than a few seconds here. Is just,
right.
You know, I don't like the. You know. I mean, he's not going to call 147 with deuces, so.
Right.
This is a spot that I would just like to see people play a little faster.
Big one fold.
Quick call from Jen, I imagine.
About 100 now.
About 150.
Oh yeah, she has to call. I mean, there's just no doubt.
How come now when she asks him how much he has, he's telling her? Does that make it look stronger, perhaps?
151.
Oh, actually, I guess I understand exactly why. Because he's made the bet. She's entitled to know how much it is. It's a completely different situation. Sorry. I mean, the reason...
I told her at the break, you know, when just talking, I said to her, I said, you're going to have to win a flip or two if you want to win this, you know?
I mean, is she saying to herself, he can't really have a pair lower than 10s? Is that true? Is it in his range to have a pair lower than 10s here?
Well, I mean, if he has 2 8s or 2 9s, he's moving in, you know? Ace king, ace queen, a lot of hands. A lot of hands she can beat.
What do you have, Antonio?
You can only ask the jungleman that question.
Ace queen. Jack.
Or she really doesn't want to go out of this. Oh, look at that. That's a great shot. Antonio looking at Jennifer through the lenses. I think those are Prada glasses.
Well, I think she miscounted the chips too, like it's a little bit less than she thinks, like she would get that money back to 18,000.
Right. Great friends off the table. Antonio Esfandiari and Jennifer Tilly.
This is my change.
But right here, it's head to head.
Now she's realizing only 133 more. That could influence her to call.
She has called.
Good call.
And it's a flip.
Macho! Pocket deuces. Macho!
I don't know if that means tax in.
Macho, macho.
You said you had ace jack.
You just want to know.
Come on, baby.
Go look. I know you're
You know?
a king or a queen. Where's my mom? Mom, where are you?
I'm ready for a 10, but
Oh, no.
Jungle Man told me he just
Oh,
folded
no.
a 10.
Esfandiari is
He's
never
not
going to win
with
a
us,
flip
that
without his
filter
mom on the
etiquette.
rail.
That you folded
Yeah.
a what?
You folded a 10.
Ace 10.
Jungle Man folded a 10. That means I can't hit a set.
It's not that bad.
Well, yeah.
It's
sort of.
Mom, we need a king or a queen.
Those other two cards.
Mom, we need a king or a queen.
He needs
Come
a
on, baby.
sweat.
Very
There you go.
interesting.
Oh,
Oh, my God.
Pocket deuces.
Jeez.
No 10, Mom. We're good.
I need a 10.
I swear I
10. What 10 did you fold? 10 of diamonds?
did. I swear I did.
10 of diamonds.
No, I believe you. You had a
10
jungle?
of diamonds.
You had a 10?
What?
What?
It was funny because you wanted to call with the deuce.
I did.
Yeah, he would have won.
10 of diamonds. Oh, now we need a
I should have gone.
10 of
jack.
diamonds.
No, I don't need
Give her a
anything.
jack.
No, I don't want a jack.
Give her a jack.
I need a 10 of diamonds.
Give her a jack.
10 of diamonds. That's right. 10 of diamonds. Or a 7 of hearts.
7.5.
Well, Jennifer's still going to be
you
Good,
in.
Mom. You can don't have a heart attack. You're good.
But the big news, Phil Hellmuth, with Antonio doubling up. Jennifer's not the only one who's upset. Guys like Reinkemeier, Duhamel, they know things have changed, and they can expect some chips to move. Do you agree?
You know, interesting observation about that last hand is that
151 it is.
Antonio beat her. Jungle Man would have beat her.
Oh, the best
And
part
then
is Phil
Shak would have beat her. She had 2 10s. She had the best hand to start. She finished 4th out of 4 contenders. Even the ace-4 of hearts. Someone at that would have beat her. She was going to finish 5th. She picked up pocket 10s. 4 people beat her.
Why not just
Just destined to lose that pot and end up 8th position in chips right now. But Esfandiari, okay, it's only 5th in chips, but he feels like he's got chips to play with. I think he's going to start making noise.
Well, we'll see. I mean, he understands that he ended himself down to a spot where he moved in with king-queen offsuit. He got away with one.
He
you know?
did. You know, we were talking about players being in form. You know, Talal Shakerchi, last week he won the high roller, and
yes.
Just a couple months ago, Shak won a big super high roller. But Antonio Esfandiari won $18 million last summer, and that's form. I mean, that is form.
Well, I think form has to do with how you're doing over the last month, especially the last couple of weeks. You know, to me. And I think you're right, though. Yeah, form can also be longer. Yeah, you know, both.
Yeah.
Form can be a little bit longer, like 9 months, and form can be a little bit shorter, like the last few weeks. So he's definitely in form. I mean, he won $18.5 million, by the way. I finished 4th in that tournament. I know.
Yeah, that was not a bad tournament to finish 4th in, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, even 4th place, that had to be your biggest individual poker cash of your career, wasn't it?
2.6, yes.
I mean,
but I bought in $1 million.
Well,
One fold, C2 calls, and C3 checks.
Good play, Jennifer. I mean, she called with the 10. She smelled it, and she was just unlucky. I mean, that's all there is to it.
King of 10 of
now
diamonds,
she's in here.
three of
Jungle
spades,
Man
king of
limped in
diamonds.
the small blind. And now it's butting heads from here on out.
He bets 11,000.
We'll let him get that one. Well, nothing she could do about that. She's thinking.
She made the good call, and she got unlucky.
It's still not here.
I don't think there's a person until he's there at this table. Forget about the prize money. Just as far as the poker goes, everyone is thinking to themselves, "Geez, I wish 2 or 3 players would bust, so I could start playing more hands. I could start doing more things." 8-handed it limits your options in a sense.
It really does. You know, when you're playing 8-handed, it's likely that there's a hand out there a lot of the times, and you know, and so it's just you're a little bit handcuffed. It's not like you can just go crazy and raise every pot, because people are going to figure it out and start raising you back. So then that makes you, that puts the handcuffs on. You're handcuffed to the chair, and you just end up folding.
Jungleman from the button. That's an aggressive spot for him.
Three folds.
Reinkemeier might decide that qualifies.
Check.
Oh, sorry. Jungleman limped from the button here.
Jungleman never limps on the button. He's really learned some new moves. You know, I mean, he's learned some new stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's.
Queen of hearts, ace of hearts, 10 of clubs.
Find that very unusual. I mean, what are the dynamics for it? Does it have to do with the fact that Reinkemeier has the big stack and the big blind? Is it?
Well, I think one reason why is he knows Jennifer Tilly could ship on him weak, and so knowing that Jen Till can ship on you weak, you don't want to put too much money in there that she can ship and win. You know what I mean? So you'd rather just call and have her not ship. I mean, what I mean to say is, ooh, bad card for Jungle Man.
Well, he has checked it twice.
Yep. Now he can't possibly pay it off.
Oh, you don't, Tobias. Oh, look at that. Wow. Yeah, he'll smile a little bit.
I thought I was good.
Probably until the river.
Huh?
Probably until the river.
It was good until the river. It was so hot. So dirty.
Get weight to the table with possible things.
So yeah, the reason to limp is when people are moving in a lot behind you and you have a weak hand, you can limp with it. And then when they do raise all, and they're not going to win as many chips from you, and then in order to throw them off, then you have to maybe start limping with ace-queen occasionally, the hand you would call and all in with.
I mean, we saw Phil Locke sort of use that limp from the button and in different positions to perfection. in the last heat.
Oh, did somebody
And
go get some for you?
he set it up nice and then pulled the trigger. I believe it was on.
I just wanted
was
to
it
survive
Kurganov he
until
did
the
it
game
to?
is
I think
over.
so.
It's 6 folds.
So it was either Reinkemeier himself.
It was Reinkemeier. He limped with the king jack of spades in one hand.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
6, 7
And
folds.
the points
8
poker
folds.
made him move in, so he was going to. Reinkemeier was going to have all the chips and until he makes it, or he was going to have all the chips, and he was going to make it.
6-2 raises to 16,000. 6-3 folds.
King 7 suited for the jungle.
6-4 folds. 6-5 folds.
Jungle.
And the game goes on.
Interesting, the Reinkemeier folded ace-7 there. Like,
There's some chicken over
he's
there.
really taking his 3-betting out of his game right now.
Yeah.
That's mine.
The last hand at this level, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, how about this, Phil? If no player gets knocked out this hand, we are going to have a full table going to the 5th level.
It's 12 big
Has that ever happened before?
Of course it has. I mean,
Oh, that's right, yeah.
that's what I was saying.
That's right, we're denied the massive chip lead that year.
All right, and in fact, we've had a couple of final tables like this. None to that extreme. Premier League Poker Season 1, where I believe it went over 100 hands before we lost our first player.
Season 1 was the one where I was in.
Yep. Not only were you at the finals, Phil, you were at the finals with a massive chip lead. I think Ian the Razor Fraser was involved in that. Of course, Juha healthy.
This week was my workout. I work almost 18 hours a day, and this was worse.
2 folds.
Not worse. I'm just
Roland the
so
Wolf certainly would have been there.
Factor.
Rough week.
I just trade for myself now, but
I
it's
think the Devilfish
23
made the
hours
final
and
table
15
that year.
minutes over.
6-5 folds.
But Juha Healthy was the eventual champion.
No, it's the same.